that fans envisioned when he came over. Well, what are you looking for in terms of signs of chemistry between these two great players?
Well, look, the chemistry is going to be there because you've got one of the best passers of all time combined with a guy who can catch anything near him and finish. So that part, I don't worry about at all. Look at this, a spin out. LeBron's throwing this from 45 feet away, a spin out lob, great pass, and Davis can go up and get it. And then here on the run, again, LeBron's looking as he always will. He's throwing that with his left hand off the dribble. Great passer, great receiver, and finisher. And then when Davis is at the 5, this is when they're at their best because you're not going to get as many switches and things like that. LeBron can turn the corner. He was much more aggressive tonight than he was against the Clippers.
As for Utah, they're now 1-1. Mike Conley is off to what we can only say is a rough start in terms of his personal performance so far. 4 of 27 from the field through 2 games with the Jazz. What gives?
And a lot of his shots is rimming out, and he's just having where he hasn't found his rhythm yet in his offense. He missed his first 12 shots in the first game, and like you said, also from the three-point line. But I'm also surprised he has 6 turnovers as well. I think for him is we know he's a player that will get it going. They're going to really need him, and that combination of Donovan and also Mike Conley, he's probably not used to playing off the ball as much because Donovan has the ball in his hands. But I think, as the season goes on, those two will get it together. Also
didn't have Bojan Bogdanovic in this game. Left ankle issue for him. Another guy they look to for that boosted offense they had hoped for with those additions this offseason. Much more to get to here on Game Time after a busy Friday night. New York. Knicks, Nets, Kyrie Irving follows up on his 50-point night with an even bigger shot as the Burrows did battle. Kemba Walker, slow start for him. He got a lot of help in the Celtics win over the Raptors. And Kate.
Three-pointer, yes, sir. I like it. I like it, too. He just put Lonnie in the blender, man, and he didn't even have to push this. It's picked up by Brunson. An exclamation point on the night.
Night 1 of the Luka Doncic-Kristaps Porzingis pairing was a huge success. The duo combined for 57 in a win over the Wizards. Dallas on the road in New Orleans Friday, where Zion Williamson can only sit or stand and watch in a suit. That's Brandon Ingram, his new teammate and one. Pelicans out, moving early. Dorian Finney-Smith, the Porzingis, were in transition. Here's Luka, step back.
That's a nice soft touch and roll.
Mavericks put up 45 in the second quarter. Third quarter,
good pass.
That's a great pass.
Doncic to Porzingis, who had 24 and 5 blocks. Doncic weaving, takes the circuitous route through that Pelicans defense, and Dallas is up by 8. Josh Hart and 1. He had 16. 2-point game. Ingram, 25. It's late. It's tight. It's Luka time, folks. Let the Rookie of the Year do his thing.
Doncic step back 3, high arcing shot. He banks it in. Oh, Luka Doncic, such a clutch 3-pointer. And the lead is up to 7.
But you can't pound your chest on a bank 3. There should be a rule on that.
You Van Gundy's, you always have something to say.
I agree on that one. Now, come on. Steve, you agree on that?
I totally agree.
Yeah, no, come on. You can't.
Like he called it.
Yeah, like, come on. That's.
You know what? Maybe you get a waiver if you've just recorded a triple-double of 25, 10, and 10.
Well, okay. He's been playing. I give him a waiver.
Yeah.
But,
there you go. That's an
shot.
exception to every rule, Matt. You're right.
3 of 9 from three-point range. One of those banked. And he records his 9th career triple-double. That is more than any player in NBA history under the age of 21.
That is impressive, especially you see the other 2 guys on that list. Wow.
That is Magic Johnson and LeBron James.
You surpassed them.
And already. And still have a lot of games to go before it was his birthday in January, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a couple more.
I asked you a lot last season. I'll ask you again. What's impressing you most here about Luka Doncic's development a season and 2 games in?
It's so much, Dan. I mean, his poise, his understanding of the game, understanding of situations. I worried about him defensively because of his lack of foot speed, but he understands plays. Well, I watched him when It was a play once there when it was going to him defensively. He just started denying real hard because he understood. And then to be able to get where he wants to on the court with off his dribble and to have his vision, eyes up. And I think just the energy he brings a winning mentality, and he wants to compete. And he's a guy who plays with a smile, Stan. But when it gets a little rough and tough, he doesn't back down. So I like everything about him.
Meanwhile, Kristaps Porzingis, his new running mate, 23 points and 24 points in still limited minutes as he's returned to the lineup after a long time away from basketball.
Yeah, it's impressive to be able to bounce back after that far off. I mean, this guy can do so many things, you know. I mean, we see him here facing up, putting it on the floor. Those are tough shots. I think people mistake that, Steve, because they're close to the basket. That's a tough little pull-up there. He can shoot the three. Shot actually looks better to me than what he had before. He's getting a little more air under the ball, a little more arc, and then he can really run. I mean, this guy's a heck of an athlete. He can put it on the floor. He can run. And until you go out there and see him, he's just so tall. I mean, this is a big guy who can do a lot of things. And, I mean, that duo is going to be very good for a very long time. They're lucky in Dallas.
Kind of unicorn-like, really.
No, that's what it
There
is.
you go, man. I don't know nobody's come up with that.
Somebody should use that, by the way.
That.
Mavericks are 2-0 for the first time since the 04-05 season, by the way. Minnesota trying to get to 2-0 after an exciting win in Brooklyn on opening night, during which Karl-Anthony Towns went for 36. Andrew Wiggins didn't shoot well, but went for 21, including some big shots late. But look at their respective plus-minus marks. Somehow, Wiggins was minus 26 in a game they won in overtime.